Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn 5 basic sentence patterns in English along with 50 example sentences. I am going to show you how we could gradually develop sentences loaded with information. We will first learn the techniques and then practice. Pattern 1. You have subject first and then the verb. This is the order of your sentence. Subject. What is a subject? It is the main word of your sentence and it is the doer of your verb. Verb expresses the action or the situation described in your sentence. So, in your sentence examples, you have only 2 words. Number 1, she knows. Very easy structure and you have subject first. She knows is a state verb which describes a situation. She knows, and what we are going to do here is we are going to replace each word. We are going to substitute the subject with your own words. In the second example, instead of she, we are going to use another subject. Let's use the word everyone. Everyone. Now, there is something important we need to consider here. You need to place the verb according to the subject all the time. If your subject is a singular subject, you need to use the singular verb. Therefore, here you need to add an S. Your answer is everyone knows, your second sentence. Let's use I as the subject here. First person singular pronoun. What happens? I know. We know in order to match with the subject we need to have a plural verb here. That is a special case. I know. Now we are going to replace the verb with another word of your choice. I. Now we have one subject. Let's build many sentences using different verbs. I agree. I agree. I admit. I understand. Let's use 2 different words to develop a completely new sentence. Yes, let's use a name. Nina. Let's say Nina disagrees. Now, in these examples, you can see we used the same structure to develop completely different 7 sentences. Let's move on to the next few examples. These 4 examples show you that even though we have the same structure, we can have many words included in your subject and the verb. That is also possible. Let's take a look at the subject first. In the first example, you have a 2-word subject. The article the is essential here. Why? We are talking about a specific baby that we know about. The baby. The baby is crying. So, the subject here is the baby. In the verb also we have 2 words this time. And it comprises of a helping verb and the ing form of the main verb is crying. That is the verb we have in this sentence. 2-word verb is crying. Let's substitute the subject. We can use another 2-word subject. The girl is crying. Example number 10. Let's substitute the verb now. The girl is laughing. Number 11 is going to be a totally different sentence. Let's say the boy is smiling. So now you have 4 present continuous sentences which talk about the things which are happening right now. In these examples, you can see that we have the same structure, but you have many words included. Let's go to pattern 2 now. Pattern 2 also has the basic structure as in pattern 1, subject plus verb. But you have further additions here. When you talk about the subject this time, you have two identified words. One is the adjective and the other one is the subject word. And the verb also has two parts this time. Verb along with an adverb. What do these additional words do? An adjective works as an attribute to the subject word, which means that we are going to give further information about this subject word using an adjective. When it comes to a verb, the verb is described further by an adverb. It shows how an action is done. Let's take a look at the example number 12. Horses run. This is a plain sentence where you have a single word for the subject and a single verb for the verb. But when it comes to number 13, you can add an adjective to the front and an adverb to the end. Let's try. Horses. What kind of horses? Wild horses, let's say. Wild horses run fast. How do they run? They run fast. Now you can see you have additional information to your sentence. Wild horses run fast. Next one. Giraffe walks. How and what kind of giraffes? Giraffe walks. The lazy giraffe walks slowly. So we describe the giraffe further and how it walks. It walks slowly. This is the adverb and this one is the adjective. Number 16. The plane took off. What kind of a plane? The giant plane took off. The giant plane took off on time. Let's say on time. This is an adverb which describes the time. The giant plane took off on time. The plane took off. The plane is the subject. Took off is the verb. When you add the adjective and the adverb, you get further information. Number 18. We have a jet now and we are going to use different adjectives and adverbs this time. A jet, what kind of a jet? The private jet. The private jet took off late. Now you can see by adding adjectives and adverbs, you can give a completely different meaning to your sentence. So now you have a much complex sentence. Further examples. The players arrived. What players? The dedicated players, let's say. Now you know what kind of players. The dedicated players arrived early. Early is the adverb. Dedicated is the adjective that describes players. Number 21. The players arrived. This time we have ignorant players. Ignorant players arrived late. The ignorant players arrived late. We have different adjective and an adverb. Number 22. Simple sentence. Dogs bite. And we have a popular saying. Barking dogs seldom bite. What do you understand by this? Dogs, what kind of dogs? Barking dogs. Seldom bite. They rarely bite. Okay, number 25. People quit. What kind of people? Because this doesn't give you a good understanding about the situation. People, what kind of people? Courageous people. Courageous people, what do? They never quit. Now in these two examples you will see that sometimes we use adverbs before the verb. In previous examples you might have noticed we usually use the adverb after the verb. Arrived early, arrived late. But in these two cases you have the adverb before the verb. Seldom bite, never quit. So these are different usages. But in most of the cases you have the adjective before the noun. See? Players, what kind of players? Dedicated players. Dogs, barking dogs. And here there is another thing to notice. Barking is a present participle form. Barking dogs. Bark, barking dogs, used as an adjective here. Courageous people, this is originally an adjective. Number 25, the baby cried, another simple sentence. The baby cried. How do you modify it? What kind of a baby? The angry baby. Let's say the angry baby cried how? Bitterly. Because she is so angry. Because she is so angry. The angry baby cried bitterly. We have another child here, number 27. What kind of a child is she? The innocent child. The innocent child cried softly. Different. So we have different adjectives and adverbs used to modify these sentences. Let's move on to pattern 3. In pattern 3 you find 3 components: subject, verb and the complement. As usual, we have subject in the first place, verb next and the complement at the end. So what do these complements do? They provide further information about the subject. Verb does the linking part, therefore we call them linking verbs. Let's take a look at an example and try to understand this. She looks. Do you get a complete meaning there? No, something is missing. What is it? That is the complement, which completes the idea of your sentence. She looks, let's say, tired. Right? You have a complement here. She looks tired. Let's substitute the word tired with different words of your choice. She looks tired, and instead of the complement tired, we are going to use another one. She looks happy. Another complement. Now you can use different types of words as complements in your sentences. Words like nouns, pronouns and adjectives can be used as complements. Let's see. Our boss. Let's say our boss seems tired. Our boss seems unhappy. Now we are using another verb instead of looks. Our boss seems unhappy. Maybe due to a reason unknown to us, our boss seems unhappy. Rajit is smart. Another complement. We are using simply an adjective here to complete the idea of your sentence. Rajit is smart. Weather is fine. Weather is fine today. Weather is fine. She is tall and beautiful. This time we have used 2 words working as complements. She is tall and beautiful. Now you can see with all these complements we are giving further information about your subject, and these verbs, they are merely doing the part of a linking word. So therefore we call them linking verbs. Verbs like looks, seems and all the be verbs do this job. Number 34. Lily became a singer. Again we have a linking verb and the complement, singer. This time you have a noun instead of an adjective. In all these cases you have adjectives. Happy, unhappy, smart, fine, beautiful, tall, all of them are adjectives. In this case you have a noun working as a complement in your sentence. Lily became a singer. Radha became a doctor, let's say. Radha became a doctor. He will be a good father one day, let's say. Now we use a different verb this time, a different be verb. He will be a good father. Now you can see we can develop a lot of sentences using the same structure. Let's move on to pattern 4. This time again you have 3 components. As usual, the first one is the subject, second one is the verb, and you have an extension at the end. What kind of an extension is this? This extension qualifies the verb. It gives further information about the time of the action and the place of the action. Therefore, you usually use adverbs of time and place as extensions to your sentences. Let's take a look at the example 1. Tisara went home. Let's say home. So this is a place adverb. It gives information about the place. So we call them place adverbs. Tisara went home. Rani went to school. Again you have a place adverb, and this time you have a preposition to help you. Rani went to school. The children are going to school. This time you have a two-word verb, are going. It indicates a present continuous idea. The children are going to school, and you have the same place adverb. Next example, he to the hospital. Let's substitute. He is going to the hospital. To match with the subject he, we use the helping verb is. In this case, we have the helping verb are to match with the plural subject. Let's say once in every month. Once in every month. Now this time you have a time adverb which talks about the time your action takes place. They meet once in every month. The entire thing is an adverb which is a time adverb. Let's create a different sentence. The committee meets. To match with the singular subject. The committee meets once in every month. We call this subject-verb agreement, right? Next example, employees meet every Monday. This is a time adverb. Employees meet every Monday at the main hall, let's say. That is a place adverb. Let's go to pattern 5. In English, subject occupies the first place followed by verb and the object. That is the SVO format, which is the standard sentence pattern in English. Do you know what is the standard sentence structure of your mother tongue? I think that is an important piece of information you need to compare. Why? Most of the time, second language learners learning English as a second language might get confused about the standard patterns. So that is something you need to consider. Now, in these examples, you will see that you have an object and you have a verb which talks about an action which has a passive object. Let's analyze this with an example. She promised me. She promised to someone. So, me is the object here and you have used an object pronoun. He recognized her. He kicked the ball. The ball is the object here. He is the subject. Kicked is the action verb here. She played the violin. Now I am going to show you how we could expand these sentences using additional words. Number 48. We simply said she played the violin. Now this time you can say the little girl played the violin beautifully. You have the standard pattern subject verb object. Let's mark the subject here. The little girl subject, played verb, the violin beautifully, your object. But you have many additional words. In this case you have an article and little, an adjective, and you have an adverb beautifully, right? You have a lengthier sentence. Employees discuss their issues. In this case, you have the subject, employees, discuss, the verb, their issues, the object. In the last sentence, I'll show you how we could add further information using different words. Employees discuss their issues when every Monday at the meeting. You have a place adverb as well as a time adverb to give further information. Let's take a look at it again. employees discuss their issues. Employees discuss their issues every Monday at the meeting, or else you can say employees discuss their issues at the meeting every Monday. So basically today you learned 5 basic sentence structures with a lot of examples, and it will be very interesting if you could write your own sentences in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my lessons.